The PGA Tour just dropped a bombshell on the FedEx Cup playoffs, and fans are losing their minds. After 20 years of tinkering, after multiple formats, billions of dollars, and endless debates about what the playoffs should look like, the Tour is finally making changes. But not everyone is happy. The biggest change? The Tour Championship, the season-ending finale, is now a conventional stroke play event. No more starting strokes. No more staggered leaderboards. All 30 players start at even par. It sounds simple. It sounds fair. But some of the world's best players are furious. Rory McIlroy, the four-time major champion, was blunt. "I'm maybe part of the minority. I didn't hate the starting strokes. I thought that the player that played the best during the course of the season should have had an advantage coming in here." Scottie Scheffler, the world number one, echoed that sentiment. "I think the way it is right now, it maybe overvalues play at the end of the year. I think having such a drastic difference in points in the last 2 weeks creates some inconsistencies in terms of rewarding the great seasons we have." But here's where it gets really interesting. The PGA Tour has also reduced the points awarded to the winners of the first 2 playoff events, from 2,000 points to 750 points. That's a massive drop. It's designed to reward consistency over the entire season, not just a hot streak in August. And there's even more coming. CEO Brian Rolab has hinted at match play being explored for future seasons, a format that could finally give the postseason the dramatic identity fans have been craving. So what exactly changed? Why are players so divided? And what does this mean for the future of the FedEx Cup playoffs? Buckle up. We're breaking it all down, format by format, reaction by reaction, controversy by controversy. Because when the PGA Tour changes everything, the golf world pays attention. For years, the Tour Championship used a staggered start format. The FedEx Cup points leader started the final event at 10 under par. The number 2 player started at 8 under, all the way down to number 30, who started at even par. The idea was to reward players who dominated the regular season and the first 2 playoff events. The best player all year had a clear advantage heading into the finale. But fans hated it. They called it confusing. They called it unfair. They called it a gimmick. So the Tour scrapped it. Starting in 2025, the Tour Championship became a 72-hole stroke play event, just like any other tournament. All 30 players start at even par. The winner of the tournament is the FedEx Cup champion. The player reaction. Rory McIlroy was one of the loudest critics of the change. "I'm maybe part of the minority. I didn't hate the starting strokes. I thought that the player that played the best during the course of the season should have had an advantage coming in here." But he also acknowledged that the system was flawed. The majority of people just didn't like the starting strokes, whether it were players or fans. I was on the Player Advisory Council when we were trying to go through that, and really it was just a way to try to simplify the advantage that the top players were going to get over the course of the week instead of NBC broadcaster Steve Sands doing calculations on a whiteboard. Scottie Scheffler, the world number one, was also skeptical. "I think the way it is right now, it maybe overvalues play at the end of the year in terms of qualifying for this tournament. And it may. I don't know if cheapen is the right word, but I think having such a drastic difference in the points in the last 2 weeks, I think creates some inconsistencies in terms of rewarding the great seasons we have in order to qualify for the tournament." Justin Thomas saw the upside. "It has the opportunity to be an unbelievable week in the sense that you could have 15, 20 guys that have a chance to win on Sunday, which is pretty cool when it comes to the FedEx Cup. I think with the starting strokes, it was very, very dependent on where you were, and more often than not, other than a handful of guys, your week was pretty quickly determined. But the change has created a strange new dynamic. Players who dominated all season can now be beaten by a player who just snuck into the top 30. Even bigger than the format change is the points shakeup. In previous years, winners of the FedEx St. Jude Championship and BMW Championship earned 2,000 FedEx Cup points. That's the same number of points awarded for winning a major championship or the Players' Championship. But the Tour has cut that number to 750 points starting in 2026. The change is designed to reward consistency over the entire season rather than a hot streak in the playoffs. Here's how it works. The PGA Tour season starts in January at the Sony Open in Hawaii. Players earn points based on tournament finishes. Major championships and the Players' Championship, 750 points to the winner. Signature events, 700 points. Regular tour events, 500 points. The top 70 players in points qualify for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. The winner earns 750 points, not 2,000. Why the change? The Tour wants the Tour Championship to be the hardest event to qualify for and the most meaningful. By reducing the points awarded in the first two playoff events, the Tour is ensuring that players who performed well all season have a legitimate advantage. But it also means that a player who sneaks into the playoffs at number 70 can't win two events and suddenly jump to number 1. Consistency matters more than ever. The bonus pool change. The Tour also changed how the $100 million bonus pool is distributed. Previously, the top 150 players earned bonus money. Now, only the top 125 will receive payouts. The money that was previously paid to players 126-150 has been reallocated to the Pathways system, designed to reduce financial barriers for players progressing through the developmental tours. The Tour Championship purse. The Tour Championship now has a $40 million purse, with the winner earning $10 million, the largest winner's share on tour. The purse is considered official money and is separate from the FedEx Cup bonus pool. One of the most dramatic storylines of this year's playoffs is Rory McIlroy's change of heart. Last year, McIlroy skipped the FedEx St. Jude Championship. He was criticized for it, but he didn't care. He explained his logic at the Open Championship. I guess I'm just at a stage that I have other things that I prioritize. The PGA Tour is in a lot of flux at the minute, with a lot of their schedule and structure and everything like that. He continued. So, I think the change where it doesn't matter where you are in the top 30 going into the Tour Championship. It's like I just need to be in the top 30 going in there to have a chance to win a FedEx Cup. So why would I care about the first two? I sort of came to that decision last year, and I'm just sort of doing the same thing. But this year, he's playing. McIlroy enters the playoffs at number 12 in the standings. He's playing at TPC Southwind for the first time since 2021. Why the change? McIlroy hasn't explicitly said, but the stakes are higher than ever. The top 50 players after the St. Jude Championship advance to the BMW Championship, and the top 30 after that qualify for the Tour Championship. And with the points system overhaul, every event matters more. The biggest long-term change might be yet to come. PGA Tour CEO Brian Rowlap has hinted that match play could be introduced to the postseason. The concept is simple. Instead of a 72-hole stroke play event, the Tour Championship would become a bracket-style tournament. The number 1 player faces the number 30 player. The winner advances. The loser goes home. Why match play? Because it works in every other sport. The Kansas City Chiefs can go 17-0 in the regular season, but if they lose their first playoff game to an 8-9 team, nobody calls it unfair. That's how playoffs work. Match play would give the FedEx Cup Playoffs a dramatic identity that stroke play simply can't match. The player reaction. Rory McIlroy confirmed that match play was on the table. Match play was on the table, and that got canned for this year. That might be. The Tour has not confirmed when match play might be implemented, but the idea has been discussed, and it's gaining traction. What match play would look like? One proposal suggests the top 32 players would advance to East Lake. They would play 18-hole matches from Wednesday through Sunday to determine the champion. Another proposal suggests 36-hole matches over the weekend to create a dramatic finale. Either way, it would be a radical departure from the current format, and it could finally give the FedEx Cup Playoffs the excitement fans have been craving for 2 decades. The FedEx Cup Playoffs aren't just about winning a trophy. They're about careers. The St. Jude Championship. Field, 70 players. Cut, no cut. Winner's share, $3.6 million. Points, 750 to the winner. Stake. Players in the field are guaranteed PGA Tour cards for the 2027 season. The BMW Championship. Field, 50 players, top 50 after Memphis. Winner's share, $3.6 million. Points, 750 to the winner. Stake. Players who advance to the BMW Championship have status in the PGA Tour's signature events in 2027. The Tour Championship. Field, 30 players, top 30 after BMW. Winner's share, $10 million. Purse, $40 million. Stake. Players who advance to the Tour Championship qualify for all 4 majors in 2027. The lame duck players. Players who finish between 51 and 125 in the FedEx Cup standings aren't done. They compete in the FedEx Cup Fall, a series of 8 events starting in September. They're fighting to stay in the top 100 to keep their tour cards and secure a spot in the Players' Championship. The bubble players. Entering the St. Jude Championship, Daniel Berger, number 60, has withdrawn due to injury, meaning the field has just 69 players. The PGA Tour does not use alternates for playoff events, so his spot won't be filled. Im Sung-jae, number 53, is on the bubble. He needs a strong week to crack the top 50 and keep alive his streak of playing at 7 consecutive Tour Championships. Tom Kim, number 26, and Kim Si-woo, number 7, are safely inside the top 50. Scottie Scheffler leads the field with 4,123 points, easily ahead of number 2 Matt Fitzpatrick, 3,329, and number 3 Cameron Young, 3,161.